Hey everyone, welcome back to Imagination Tech. So last time I reviewed the Armor 85 HD, and while I was getting good battery life from this, like around 3 to 4 minutes depending on how aggressive you were flying, the range with the built-in XM receiver was very dismal. I was getting fail-safe less than 200 meters away. So I was thinking maybe I could improve our range situation with this thing. Stay tuned.
So this is the Armor 85 HD without the canopy. The canopy comes undone with one screw at the back, and also you have to remove the front part, which is the shroud for the camera first. But in this case, I already my Armor 85 HD already took some damage, so it cracked the front part, so it came off with just the screw at the back. And I thought I'd open it up before I fix that frame with some super glue or CA glue. So this is the ESC on the top part of the stack, and I've been trying to trace the wiring going to the middle stack, which is the flight controller. And the Makerfire website, the product page for the flight controller, which is an Makerfire A05 flight controller, only has a photo of the top and very little documentation. So I had to trace the wires that were going into this flight controller. So maybe I can overlay the picture of the flight controller from the Makerfire website and put some labels. So basically, I found that I think it has at least 2 UARTs, or with physical pads. The receiver is connected to UART2 somewhere here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but let me try to open that up. But okay, so it's probably not visible, but there is a white wire. I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera. Sorry, it's a yellow wire, and it is showing up on camera. So that yellow wire is connected to UART2, and that is the S-bus. That's the S-bus wire from the receiver. And we also have smart audio buried somewhere here in the front, which is connected to UART1. Yeah, UART1, because I also checked the ports tab on Betaflight, and it's somewhere hidden. It's there. It's I'm not sure if I can show it in the camera, but yeah. So we have TX2 still available, and this is an F3 board, so we might be able to get away with just attaching the Crossfire receiver directly onto that pad, but we'll see. So I unscrewed the rear motors and ducts, and that gave us a little bit more flexibility with this ESC board. Now you can see clearly that the RX, the S-bus, the XM receiver is just wired to that RX2. There's nothing soldered onto the TX2 pad, and we've also traced that the positive end. So the ground, the 5 volts, this powers the XM 5 volts and ground, and just almost beside it is the 5 volts and ground for the VTX. So if we are going to be changing our receiver with something else, we just need to desolder these two, ground and 5 volts, and as well as the S-bus wire here soldered onto RX2. Before we proceed any further, just wanted to show you a picture of the Crossfire Nano just sitting on top of the XM receiver. So as you can see, the size isn't that different. They're almost the same size. Probably the Crossfire Nano is probably probably a millimeter longer or larger, but all in all, they're pretty much the same size. So we're not gonna have a problem really on replacing this, mounting this where the XM used to be. Let's go ahead and pre-tin the ground, 5 volts, channel 1, and then channel 2. So I've now removed all of the ducts, which will make working on this under this ESC a little bit easier. Probably be able to remove that connector harness, and we are just gonna desolder these this ground and 5 volts going to the receiver, as well as this RX on RX2, and then we'll solder on the Crossfire. Okay. So threading the wires through this mess of wires is actually the hardest part. Now we can just simply solder them onto their respective pads. Right, before we close everything up, let's plug this in and see if everything's working as expected. So we turn the internal module off, switch this to CRSF, let's put it into bind mode. You can see that our transmitter is blinking blue. That means, and our receiver is blinking red. When it's blue, you just have to press this so that it will update the firmware on the RX as well. So it's now a solid blue color. We'll just wait until both of them become green. It's still updating on the receiver, so we'll get back to you once it's done. Alright, both the module and the receiver have turned green, a solid green color. So we will just close this up and then we'll see. We'll see if everything is working as expected, and hopefully it does. So we'll just unplug this and then close the stack up and close this and connect it to Betaflight. And actually we'll just try to arm this thing and see if it will arm.
Telemetry lock.
Now plug in our Armor 85 HD to our PC via USB and load up Betaflight and click on connect. And once we are in, go to the ports tab. Actually, we don't need to change anything here, so we head on over to the configurations tab, and we need to change our serial provider to CRSF and click on save and reboot. This will restart our Armor 85 HD, and once that's done, we just click on connect again. I have my RSSI and link quality set to channel 8 of my Crossfire Nano RX, so we head on over to the receivers tab and set the RSSI channel to aux4. Then click on save, and we head on over to OSD, see if we need to change anything there. But I think I have this pretty much set up the way I want, so let's just head on over to the modes tab. Haven't set up turtle mode yet, so might as well do it now. Okay, turtle mode. So I'm just gonna be setting this to aux3 and then moving this over to the right. And yeah, that seems to be good. So all we need to do now is click on save, and I think that's pretty much everything we need to set up in Betaflight. So we just click on disconnect. So that is it for our long range mod of the Armor 85 HD with the Crossfire. And with the Crossfire, it not only gives you farther range, longer range, but also the confidence that you won't just fail safe when you're out flying. We do have these antennas sticking out of the sides, and I think this might be the optimal way to mount your antenna, but if you have other suggestions, then let me know. Also, our limitation now is with the 200 milliwatt VTX that came built in with. I'm not sure if there's a similarly sized VTX that goes up higher to maybe 600 milliwatts. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments as well, because even the TBS Nano, which is about the same size, only goes up to 200 milliwatts. So you probably could just use a high gain directional antenna or a helical antenna, like 11 dB 7-turn helical antenna or something like that. Anyway, that has been it. If you like this video, click on the like button. If not, then click on the thumbs down, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell button as well, so that you get notifications when I put out a new video. Alright, that has been it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, keep building and keep flying.